I first laid eyes on Lark at the wild horse holding facility in Bloomfield, Nebraska in 1988. I was sitting on a fence, watching hundreds of newly captured wild horses, when a beautiful blue roan filly came out of the herd and trotted toward me. It was as though she knew I was setting up a sanctuary for wild horses and was determined to be the first one on the truck. The filly had large, black, lustrous eyes, wide set in a head of blackest ebony, with a thick mane and a lush foretop hanging almost to her flaring nostrils. Just what she saw in me, I'll never know. But she followed me down the fence when I left, nickering loudly, calling for me to turn back. She needn't have worried. 5 minutes later, I had paid my fee and signed papers for her adoption. Along with 300 other Mustangs, Prairie Lark was shipped to my Black Hills Wild Horse Sanctuary in South Dakota. For a time, I was too busy tending to the new arrivals to single her out. But one evening, as I was setting up a camp in Chilson Canyon, she came down off the rim rocks to visit me. From then on, she never left my side. Soon I could slip up on her bareback and ride her back into the canyons. In my lifetime, I've never ridden her equal. But sometimes I would catch her gazing off in the distance at the other wild horses, and I sensed that however much she loved me, she needed to be free. As I pulled the saddle off her for the last time and opened the gates, she trotted off, pausing once at the top of the trail over the rim before joining the herd to look back at me and nicker a goodbye.
It's a place that we call sacred, a quiet, holy ground, a spirit sanctuary. You can feel the breath of God, and it's older than our memory. Heard our every word. 1,000 years our church has stood, 1,000 years returned to sacred ground, to sacred ground, to sacred ground. It's our shrine.
All we know about those ancient people is what we read in that cliff art, and it's got to be preserved, and we really work at keeping it. The Indians, the Sioux tribe, come and have a sun dance once a year, and probably 400 native people come and dance, and that's the way it should be. They should be able to enjoy this place because it was always a center of their religion. The river flows 4 different directions here, north, east, south, and west, the Cheyenne River, and that made it, was one of the things that made it sacred to them.
On